Satchel from Steel Panther. You're listening to Metal Stream Radio with Metal Matt, and he's totally naked from the waist down.
With your own band, for your own music, who are the guys in your band? What? Tell me a bit about them and how you got together, and how did that come about?
Yeah, so my band it's not a totally set group. It kind of goes through, depending on how much touring we have, it'll sort of be, different configurations depending on who's available, because my other guitar players all play with other people. Ricky Dover Jr., he's kind of my first call main guy. We've been playing together for years, but he plays with Grace Potter and the Nocturnals now. Grace Potter. So yeah, he's her lead guitarist now. So, it's always just, whenever I get dates, I'll send them to him and he'll check with her. And so, whatever lines up, he'll come on. And, sometimes we do tours where we're just a 3-piece and I play all the guitar. Wow. And so that's kind of a different show. It kind of gives us two different shows, because it's like one where it's like very much about me and the guitar playing. And then the show where we have another guitar player, there's quite a few songs that I don't play guitar on. So it's much more of the frontman theatrical thing where I can, get more in the audience's face and do all that kind of stuff. So it's kind of, those are sort of two different shows that we kind of balance and go between. And Cole, my bass player who plays bass and keys, he's been with me the longest, probably since like 2018 when I first put out my first EP. But it kind of, it sort of just evolved. That's a big reason I moved to Nashville, was to just be around lots of musicians and be part of that scene. So when I, put out my first records, I basically, made my first record in EP, produced it myself, recorded most of the instruments myself, and just had it in hand, came to Nashville and started booking shows. And then it'd be like, then I could get a band, it was like, I have all these songs and I have a show this date. Can you play bass? And so I would, and that's how, when I had those things, I could get a band together. Whereas if I was just like, hey man, let's get together and jam, it was just really hard to get anyone to commit to anything, because everyone's busy. So it kind of just evolved from that, booking more and more shows. And I had a residency in town for like a year, playing every Saturday night at this club, which is where Dennis and Neil came and saw us. And so that was kind of a core group, three of us, me, Cole, and Sam on drums. And we did that for like a year. And that really kind of made us, having a gig every Saturday night for a year, turns you into a band,
Yeah.
So that was really helpful for us, because it just tightened up all the loose ends.
Yeah.
And so, so for these upcoming shows, it's me and Cole, and we have a different guy, Johnny, on drums for these runs, who's great. He's a young guy. He's 22, lives in Atlanta. He's killer. He came into, we had a rehearsal with him, and he, learned like 20 some songs and basically hardly had to, run them twice, so, so they're great musicians. And, the songs my songs evolve a lot from the recordings to live. Because, I think all of my Led Zeppelin influence, and Jimmy Page influence really gets to kind of stretch out more in a live setting, which, because if you look at Led Zeppelin, they were such an improvisational band. I mean, that was kind of like core of their ethos is never the same. They were always evolving every song. And so I really like kind of taking, without going into becoming a jam band or anything, but like taking the structure of the songs and then finding, okay, between this section and this section, like anything can happen here. And then each night trying to surprise the musicians and, teach them like, let's go some, like, don't be afraid to like, take it here, and pushing the dynamics. So that's really a fun thing for me, and something I really enjoy is, pushing that in a live setting.
That's really cool. I've always loved that kind of improvised approach. You capture something unique in that moment, and it may never happen again. Exactly what happens in that space of time. I used to do a lot of open mic nights in Bristol back years ago, and it was always just a jam, and people would get up and join in on my song. Sometimes they just get up randomly and stop playing.
Right.
I love that, just that kind of musicianship where you can just riff off each other and kind of try and feel the vibe and feel it out. With how you have got this gig with Alice, is there any advice for up and coming, artists to kind of get their lucky break, or do you put it down to luck, or do you think the right people, or because this day and age is difficult, I think.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, yeah, I guess it is luck. I mean, I think it was. I mean, being yourself and being, putting in the time and doing the work and making my records and booking my tours and playing tiny shows in shitty bars, but playing those shows like you're at Madison Square Garden, like working really hard to like rehearse the show and add the theatrical elements and doing, putting on the clothes, designing the clothes myself and having them made, the makeup, and like going all the way, going in 100% and committing to it. I think that's why Grimy, he's seen me play these tiny shows, and that's why Grimy was like, no, this guy, like he's for real, and that's why they recommended me, I think. So yeah, I think it's, you have to really believe in yourself, and you have to go for it. You have to really put in the work.
Yeah, that's good advice. Yeah, yeah. I don't think anything comes out of nothing. You got to really,
Yeah, I certainly wasn't sitting around waiting for Alice Cooper to call me. You know what I mean? And I'm still, I mean, I've got a European tour in October. I've got a bunch of touring right now. I'm working on my next record. This is not, this is just, it's a piece of what I do, but my whole identity is not tied into this. It's just something I was extremely honored to be able to be a part of, and I'm 100% there to, be a part of whatever they want me to. I'm just honored to be invited into the room. And am happy to lend whatever I can to, further the legacy of this band and contribute, whatever they need. So
yeah, I'm really happy you got the job. You've got the right mindset for it, and I think it's good. You do your own stuff. You're obviously a really creative person. It's great. Rather than trying to mold you into just using you as a guitarist or something, and mold you to how the album needs to sound. You've had your place to do what you feel, and I think that's what's going to shine. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of people excited to hear it. I know that much.
yeah.
And with your own music, for anyone who hasn't yet heard any of your songs, is there one song or two songs that really, for some people to check out first to get a real idea of what you're about?
Oh man. I mean, depends. There's a lot there. I mean, I would say go listen to the records. I just put out a new record, but I mean, Baby Blue is a rock and roll track. Cheap High, straight rock and roll track. Tongue Tied, Lightning, Kiss Kiss. Kiss Kiss, I think, is the song supposedly that Bob sent Alice to get the gig. So yeah, check out Kiss Kiss.
Definitely.
Some straight rock and roll music. Yeah.
Yeah.
So but yeah, go listen to the record.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. Well, people have got a lot to check out. They got the new Alice album. They got your stuff to check out if they haven't heard it yet. And yeah, that's great. And did you mention which places you're going to play on your tour, where people can see you playing?
Yeah, we're coming. Got some dates here. Well, Europe is October. We're going to be in a lot in France, Brussels. We actually have our first shows in the UK this fall. Awesome. First time we're finally playing London and Brighton. I think Hope and Ruins and Lexington are the venues. I don't know if you're familiar with those.
Not sure. It's kind of the other way. Bristol.
Yeah. Oh, Bristol. Yeah. Yeah. So far, yeah, we just have those. But yeah, Paris and Bordeaux and Amsterdam, Germany. But on this tour in the US, we're next week starts in like Memphis, Jackson, Mississippi, and then we're coming through, I think, Columbus, Ohio, Grand Rapids, Michigan, Chicago. I think we're working on a Detroit date. We're also going to like North Carolina, Asheville and Charlotte, Charleston, South Carolina, Atlanta. So yeah.
A lot of places then.
Yeah. I know. We were like, yeah, at the start of this year, we're like, yeah, we just want to do, a few dates, like, keep it small. And then it's like, it's kind of been, we had like 10 dates, and then now it's like 20 dates, and then now we've got more dates. So it's growing. It's becoming, but it's not nothing too crazy. October will be kind of the big push where it's like all over Europe for the whole month.
Wow, yeah. Well, you'll have some fun, I'm sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I love playing Europe.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's the best.
There's good audiences there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even with England, when I was living there, a lot of the places I've went for gigs, it's always just pretty crazy. The crowds are always, quite, passionate about music in England, I think. And where I am now, Mexico, there's probably more.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I've heard. We haven't been down there, but yeah. Spain, the audiences are amazing too.
Yeah. No, it's really good. Where are you from originally? Where?
I'm from West Virginia.
Oh yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah.
No,
So I'm from.
cool.
I grew up in a holler in West Virginia, which is like the heart of the Appalachian Mountains.
Oh wow. Right.
So I grew up, like off the grid.
That's sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've always liked the look of it up there, although I've watched too many Wrong Turn films.
Right.
I don't know if I'd ever go up there, man.
Yeah. It is beautiful. It's beautiful.
It's beautiful. Yeah. I love it. It's that's one of the places I've ever. In fact, I flew over there when I was coming into Mexico, because one of the places when I was tracking where we were, it said Virginia, and I was looking out the plane window thinking, wow, that's
Yeah.
a lot of forest there, and it's just one big no, that's
a lot for us. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's, culturally a bit challenging. It was challenging for me to grow up there,
Was
but, just the, small town, Southern American culture didn't really, because I'm first generation West Virginian. So, my parents were, my dad's like from New York, my mom's from Ohio. But it's still, I love growing up there, and it's a really beautiful place. And it kind of, it was a really unique upbringing in that, I was introduced to all this old music and sort of was in my own little bubble, listening to the Rolling Stones and the Beatles and Led Zeppelin. So.
Yeah, that must have been a real change, to where are you now, Nashville? So it was quite a change. I guess sometimes those kind of places, you can kind of really get into something, if you're more remote, you can kind of really focus on, be it music or whatever you're into, it's a good place to, And were you quite keen to get out of there to kind of get your music out there? Was it quite?
Oh yeah, I went out of high school. I went to Boston to the Berklee School of Music.
Really? Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I went straight from the holler to Boston, and I lived there for 4 years. So that was a huge change.
Yeah.
But it was like, I was really determined to get out of there and sort of reinvent myself and figure out who I was and figure out how to make music and do what I wanted to do. So.
Yeah, well, good for you. It's good. Good you managed to branch out. It's one of those places, small town kind of places you feel like you'll never get out and get.
Yeah, and a lot of
Alice Cooper. So.
Right. Yeah. No.
Inspiration for anyone that.
Yeah, I mean, I was one of the few people that left. Yeah, most of the people I went to school with are still there. Yeah.
Yeah. I guess as a musician, you want to kind of get out there a bit more, But
yeah, it's hard. It's hard to it's hard to be I think it's just a hard place to kind of launch your career from West Virginia. It's just it's tough. It's tough.
Hey, this is Satchel from Steel Panther. You're listening to Metal Stream Radio with Metal Matt, and he's totally naked from the waist down.